In the darkest hour of the Second World War, as a Nazi invasion loomed, Britain executed the single most audacious movement of wealth in history. This wasn't a bank transfer. This was the physical exodus of a nation's entire fortune, billions of dollars in gold bars and securities, loaded onto aging warships and sent straight into the killing grounds of the North Atlantic, a desperate gamble for survival. Every ship was a floating treasure chest, a desperate gamble to fund the fight for freedom. This is the story of Operation Fish. The summer of 1940. Great Britain is alone. The Nazi blitzkrieg had devoured Europe. Belgium, the Netherlands, and France had all fallen. The British Army now stood on its own shores, staring across 21 miles of water at a triumphant and seemingly unstoppable German war machine. An invasion wasn't a question of if, but when. If Hitler seized the nation's gold, it would not only shatter British morale, it would bankroll the Nazi conquest of the world. But war has a price, and Britain was broke. To arm itself, it had to buy supplies from the US in gold or dollars. British pounds were worthless. The solution was almost unthinkable. If Britain were to fall, the war would be fought from Canada, funded by the wealth spirited out from under the invaders' noses. This was an act of financial conscription. The government forced citizens to declare their foreign securities to the treasury. These were now assets for survival. The secrecy was absolute, starting with the codename Operation Fish, priceless cargo packed into wooden crates to deceive any prying eyes on the docks. Night after night, the work began in total darkness. At heavily guarded ports like Greenock, dock workers loaded crate after crate into waiting warships. The Royal Navy committed its powerful cruisers. The HMS Emerald carried an estimated £30 million in gold and $200 million in securities. Gold bars were stuffed into ammunition lockers, while crates of securities covered every spare inch, even the floors of the captain's cabins. Other ships, like the battleship HMS Revenge, were loaded so heavily they risked structural damage before even leaving port. The exodus had begun. To leave the harbor was to enter the killing grounds. The North Atlantic was the hunting ground of German U-boat wolf packs. In May of 1940 alone, over 100 Allied ships were sent to the bottom of the sea. Every vessel in Operation Fish was a target of unimaginable value. The convoys battled more than the enemy. Ships like the Emerald were slammed by storms so brutal they were forced to slow to a crawl, becoming sitting ducks. On another crossing, the Polish ship SS Battery suffered engine failure and fell behind. A thick fog descended, leaving the treasure ship blind and vulnerable. Yet, through naval skill, iron resolve, and unbelievable luck, the secret held. The Axis powers never learned of the immense transfer happening under their noses. The arrivals in Halifax, Nova Scotia were met with the same intense secrecy. Royal Canadian Mounted Police secured the area as the fish were unloaded. Crates were loaded onto special trains with reinforced floors to handle the crushing weight of the gold. The fortune was about to vanish into Canadian soil. The paper securities were sent to Montreal and secured in a purpose-built vault 3 stories beneath the Sun Life building, guarded day and night. The gold continued to Ottawa. Soon, over 1,500 tons of gold bullion and coin filled the vaults. The Bank of Canada now held a fortune second only to Fort Knox. Operation Fish was a stunning success, but it came at a staggering long-term cost. Britain was forced into a fire sale of its global assets to survive. Large British-owned companies, valued at over $100 million, were sold under immense pressure for a fraction of their worth to fund the war effort. This was a moment of financial bloodletting, symbolizing a great transfer of global power from a declining British Empire to a rising United States. Britain would pay for its survival for decades. The final installment on its World War II loans wasn't repaid until December of 2006. The story of Operation Fish is a testament to quiet courage. If you believe these hidden histories deserve to be told, help us by liking and subscribing. It was a billion-dollar gamble that, against all logic, paid off. A silent, pivotal victory that kept a nation's hope alive through the darkest of times.